Hey, so if you're new here, welcome. And if you are returning, then welcome back. So 2 days ago, on February 16th, it was the 5-year anniversary of my bilateral mastectomy. And to be honest, I was a bit surprised at some of the things that I experienced that day, physically and emotionally, and the day after. And the reason I was surprised was because this most recent diagnosis anniversary felt more like any normal day than it did a reminder or a marker of what I'd been through. And in the past 4 years, it definitely felt very heavy. And this year, December 30th, felt just like any other day. And so while I knew, we know these anniversaries, whatever event has occurred in your life that's been life-shocking, or even good events, right? Like, we remember the dates of these things and they imprint on our body, I believe. And so I really thought it was, just going to be a normal day. And ironically or coincidentally, but probably not, because I don't believe anything's a coincidence, I had been asked to speak to a survivor group virtually on Zoom that same day. And so as the date was approaching, I was thinking, oh, this is great because I'm feeling good. I feel like I've really come a long way every year a little bit more, and I'm going to be speaking to this group. So I saw it as like, what a great way to celebrate this anniversary. Well, I did get to that place, but I want to be honest about what I was feeling, because I think all too often, whether it's on social media or in conversation or in writing a book, so many people feel that we have to share the strong parts of ourselves and the good parts of our stories, the successes, right? And we leave out a lot of the hard times and the trials. And my mission has always been to be honest about my breast cancer experience. Well, everything in life, but specifically for that. It's one of the reasons why I wrote Bearing It All, because I couldn't find, when I was going through breast cancer, I couldn't find a book that told me like the real deal of what it was going to be. And maybe there's one out there, I just didn't find it. And so that was part of my purpose and mission in writing that, was I wanted other women to be able to find a book that told it like it really was. And I wanted survivors to be able to have a space where they could realize, gosh, I'm not alone. Like, oh my gosh, she felt that way too, or that happened to her too. Right? And so I've always wanted to be very honest. And in keeping with that, that's what I wanted to share today, was like, I woke up on the morning of the 16th and I actually didn't even realize it right away. Like, I was feeling these things that I'm going to share with you, but I wasn't actually making the connection until a little bit later in the day. But I was feeling like a tightness in my chest, almost like a pain, like a heartburn, or almost like an internal pain in the chest area. I was feeling very foggy and fatigued. I had no desire to I didn't have any motivation, I should say, to get things done, to be creative. And it was just like an overall heaviness that I felt. And I'm realizing as I'm saying that to you that that's exactly what I described. I didn't think I would feel. I wasn't even thinking that until I came on here. But I allowed myself to feel it. Like previous version of Amy, pre-cancer Amy, definitely would have either busied herself so that she didn't feel the feels, or would have allowed myself to feel it, but then felt guilty about it because like I wasn't doing what I should be doing, right? Should be doing, as in my work or anything else that I was taking a break from because I was giving myself time and space. Present Amy, after cancer Amy, I see things very differently. And I know how important it is to feel all of those emotions. It was probably one of the biggest lessons I learned through cancer. Again, another one of the like main threads in bearing it all is I wanted people to understand the emotional and mental toll that this takes on people, just like many other types of soul shaking experiences. But with breast cancer, it's so physical and people see those parts and they can't see our mental and our emotional wounds. And it has become so important to me that I take the time and space. And I also know that by doing that and by allowing myself to feel and heal, that what I then do go and create is going to be more from my heart, more from a higher energetic frequency than if I'm just stressing to get something done. So going back, I was feeling all of those things and gave myself just kind of some time to relax and breathe and do exercise, and just put like the to-do list aside as much as I could for the day. And went to bed at a good time. And of course, realized during the day, like, oh, maybe it's because of this being the anniversary, especially when I started realizing like the chest area. My chest has been incredibly tender ever since surgery. And even had it not, like knowing, I mean, there's a connection, right? There's an undeniable connection that I had a surgery that removed my breasts. And so mentally, emotionally, physically, it's wounded. There's a wounded area. And I believe it has healed, but it has undergone trauma. And so I was able to speak to the survivor group, which was so wonderful and so great to witness that, like, just the lightness that came over them when I was sharing my own story. Most of them were between like 1 and 3 years post-treatment. And you know, I left it really open that I wanted to hear where they were at so that I could make our time together the most impactful, right? I didn't just want to share my story and speak at them. But when I would speak to their questions or their scenarios that they were asking me about, I just felt like there was a lightness in myself. Like a lot of that weight had just gone. And I know part of it was that's what happens when I'm in this space, when I'm sharing, when I'm giving, when I'm empowering, is it's a happy place and a superpower of mine. And so it feels good, right? So that's natural. But to see it happen on the women's faces in the support group was even cooler. Just to witness that. And also for them to realize, like one of the women said, gosh, because I was saying how it had struck me how emotional I was that day. I know I just shared some of the physical things that were going on, but like I was definitely emotional. And she said that she has felt recently like she's, X number of years post treatment into survivorship, and she feels like she should be better and that she doesn't want to show some of these emotions she still has because she doesn't feel like people understand that she is still emotional around the topic, or that anniversaries can bring up emotion or certain conversations. And so her reflecting back to me that just hearing my honesty and my story helped her feel more okay with feeling her feelings was, that's why I do this work. Like that makes everything worthwhile. So I did that. I spoke to the support group and I felt good, got a good night's sleep. And y'all, I woke up the next morning and I had a headache. Oh, that was one I had the day before too, was bad headache. I had a headache. I felt the constriction again. I just felt very, like all over the place. Like I couldn't focus. I wasn't motivated. And I was like, okay, it's not the anniversary. Like now what's going on? And I know that these things are more than just a day. And I allowed myself that. And then I knew I didn't want to stay in that space anymore. Like I had felt my feelings. I had made peace with whatever I was feeling. And for everybody, that's a different amount of time. Like, please don't ever think I'm telling you that you just need to move on or everything's okay. And I'm sure that that's not my intent. But the coolest thing happened was I then went to one of the energy classes that I participate in, not one that I'm leading and guiding, but one that I participate in with my mentor. And we did our energy practice, and I felt some of it lift, but I still felt the deeper pain. Like the headache was mostly the biggest thing, was like this headache, and it was giving me brain fog and the lack of focus. And I knew in my body, in my mind, in my heart, like, okay, I want to move forward. So I went for a walk, knowing that usually helps for me to get outside. And I still kind of felt it. And then I got on a second call with my mentor. And this was a little bit deeper of a call. It wasn't necessarily like our full practice that we do, which is similar to what I teach in Choosing You. And how I guide women, through the process of energy activation. But really what it was she was just teaching us. It was more the practical side. And she was teaching us about the different areas of, let me rephrase that, not even the different areas of the brain. She was teaching us that many times when we have an illness or something going on in our body, even before we know it and feel it in our body, it's in a point in our brain. And she didn't go into depth of like, this point matches that organ or any of that, nor am I going to speak to that. But what she had us do, okay, this is a pen, as you can see. It's one where it goes in and out, but I'm going to use the tip. This is what she had us do. And she had us first like kind of split our head in half, split like in our minds, right? Like physically here. And we started out with just the right side. And the point is that you want to find the areas of sensitivity. And I feel like there should be a disclaimer here that like anything you choose to do that I'm sharing with you, like this is not medical advice. And if you have any questions, ask your physician or message me if you're unclear of what I'm sharing and why I'm going to be tapping my head with a pen. And I make no claims that this is going to do the same for you that it did for me. Okay. So moving the pen around and finding these sensitive, right there, like these sensitive spots, and then pressing in. You're not doing anything with the top of the pen. That's staying out. So the pen is retracted. You're just using the other end and holding it here. And I will be honest, it can be quite painful. I mean, you're touching an area that's sensitive, but then you will start to feel the energy move. And if you don't like the word energy, like you'll start to feel some tingling, some buzzing around that area, or like an opening, a spreading. And when you feel that, that's exactly what it is. It has been able to open up. And so we did that all around, like, different areas of the right side. Like here's another one, right? So I would just press and breathe. Breathing through it is really important. And then releasing it when I feel the release. And then what we did was just kind of like shook, right? The side. And we noticed how the right side after doing that felt different than the left. And for me, the left just felt more compacted and like tight. And the right felt very open. So then we went to the left side with our magic tool here and found an area on the left side. Holy moly, that's a big one. And pressed and breathed. And depending on how sensitive the area is, there, I feel it. You'll start to feel like a little less pain, and then you remove it. And then we did the same thing, like how does the left feel versus the right? You guys, when we finished this, and we maybe did this, we also did some things with our fingers. But we finished this, and maybe it was 20, 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, maybe not even. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. But you could do this however long it takes. And I had no headache. I felt invigorated I wouldn't even just say motivated. Like I was invigorated. I wanted to go send messages to women about the survivor retreat. I wanted to, get testimonials from people about my work. And I wanted to make some reels and posts for social media about choosing you and how this is what we do inside choosing you is activities like this and practices like this. So that we can restore, right? These good feelings. And again, it's not to ignore or bypass our emotions or even the physical things we feel, but we all need ways that lift us up, right? Because we know it doesn't serve us and it doesn't serve humanity or anybody to be in those lower spaces. We're there when we're there, and then we rise, right? We rise into gratitude and joy and love and abundance. And that's how I felt. I literally felt like I had elevated my consciousness, my physical body, my emotional body in that amount of time and during that exercise. And so I left that call just with the realization again of how impactful different practices and different tools can be. And we all have our own things that speak to us as far as our own practices and tools and putting different tools in our toolbox. I remember when I was young and I was I was going through depression as a teenager, and I remember someone using that. Like, this is just another tool in your toolbox so that one day when you need different tools, you can come back and find this, right? And maybe it's the one you pull out. Again, I wanted to share that with you because it was so impactful to me. And then the other thing that she was sharing was that, like, you can even do this if you did this however often you choose to. You can actually use it not just as a healing modality, but as a preventative modality, because these areas of your brain that, in my words, get like kind of clustered, right? Like, I picture it in my mind. I picture these sensitive areas as like bubbles. Again, my language, this is not scientific, y'all. And as you're doing that, it's like releasing that pressure, like a balloon, right? It's releasing that pressure. And so if we know that these things happen on our brain before they move into our body, that's magical. Like, to me, if I can stop it at the brain level before it gets into my body. So I am going to start doing this. I've got my pen, and I am going to start doing this more often because I don't want to get headaches as much. And I don't want to have that like constricted feeling or the feeling that I'm in a brain fog. And that's something that's been a direct impact for me since chemo, was like massive brain fog. So that's all I've got for you today. I would love to know, like, if you try this. All right, so that's it. I will see you next time. Bye.